welcome back to my channel. Today I'm excited to teach you how to do some DIY home decor. I've seen these round pillows with the pom-poms around the edges all over my Pinterest, and I tried looking them up and they're actually really expensive. I thought it'd be pretty easy to recreate it by just crocheting 2 flat circles and kind of stitching them together. So I'm gonna show you how to do that today. Let's go ahead and get started. The supplies you'll need include quick dry fabric glue, a medium weight yarn, and I will be using a 4.25mm crochet hook today, some pom-pom fringe that I got from Hobby Lobby. You could also make your own pom-poms with a pom-pom maker. Wow, I'm saying pom-poms a lot. Whenever I've done that in the past, the pom-poms were not this dense and fluffy, so I thought this trim would look a lot better. Next, you'll need a fabric pencil and 2/3 a yard of fabric. I got this pink fabric and it was the perfect amount to make the pillow insert. Next, you'll need some polyfill. I bought 2 bags just to be safe, but I only ended up using about half of 1 bag. And finally, you'll need some pins and your fabric scissors. I'll also be using my brother's sewing machine today to assemble the pillow. The first step to this project is creating a magic circle. To do this, you'll take your top 2 fingers and wrap your yarn over them. Then take your yarn and wrap it again to create an X shape over the back of your fingers. Next, grab your crochet hook and put it under the first string and over the second string. You want to hook that back string and pull it through, and as you do, flip your crochet hook upwards like this. Then you can take your fingers out, flip your yarn around, and you will have a magic circle. The next step is to chain 2, and then do 10 double crochets into the center of your circle. You're not going to count your chain 2 as one of the 10 double crochets. It will not be counted throughout this whole project as a double crochet. If you don't know what a double crochet is, don't worry, I didn't either. Just follow these steps. So to do the first double crochet, you want to put yarn over your hook, so that's called yarn over. Insert your hook into the circle, grab a piece of yarn, and pull it to the top. You should have 3 loops on your hook. Next, you're going to yarn over again and pull it through 2 of the loops. Now you should have 2 loops on your hook. Then yarn over one more time and pull through. That's 1 double crochet. So we have 9 more to go. So again, yarn over, insert your hook into the circle, yarn over and pull up, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. There's the second one. Now let's go ahead and do the rest. If you'd rather look at a written pattern, I've linked it in the description box below. So now find that tail to the original magic circle and pull it tight. And your circle should close just like this. Go ahead and find your first double crochet. So not the chain 2 that you started with, but the first tall stitch, your first double crochet should look like this. Sorry, it's a little hard to see. You're going to do what's called a slip stitch. Insert your hook into the top of that double crochet. So just these 2 loops right at the top of your first double crochet. And then you're going to grab some yarn, so yarn over, and pull it straight through both. And that is a slip stitch to close your first circle. For the rest of this project, I'm going to write chain as CH and double crochet as DC to make it easier. Now that we've completed round 1, we'll move on to round 2. That starts off with a chain 2 like always, and remember not to count it as part of your double crochets. In the top of every double crochet that we completed, we're actually going to do 2 double crochets. So 2 in the same stitch all the way around so that we have 20 in total. So starting with the first stitch right here, yarn over, insert your hook, pull some yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So that's 1. Now we're gonna go right back into that same stitch and do another one. Yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2. So there, 2 in the first stitch. Now we're going to repeat this all the way around until we have 20. So we have 20, that's all we needed. Now we're going to do a slip stitch again into the top of our first double crochet. So ignore the chain 2 and go into the top of your double crochet. Grab some yarn and pull it through both. There we go. So that completes round 2. Next up, it gets a little tricky, but not too bad. Hang in there. It's still double crochets, but I want you to think of this circle as a pie. So in our pie, we have 10 slices because we put 10 stitches in the original circle. And as we go outwards, our slice of pie is going to get wider. So we start off with 1 double crochet at the front of our piece of pie, and then it got wider and we put 2 double crochet in every stitch. So now you can probably guess we're going to put 3 in every 2 stitches. So first you're going to chain 2, as always. And then in this first stitch here, you're going to put 1 double crochet. But then in this next stitch, you're going to put 2 double crochets. So essentially, you've turned this space with 2 stitches into 3 stitches. So the pie is getting wider and wider, and that trend's going to continue on. But let's finish this round by doing 1 and then 2, 1 and then 2 all the way around. Perfect. Now we're going to do a slip stitch into the top of our first double crochet. And that completes the 3rd round of stitches. Now we're going on to the 1, 2, 3, 4th round of stitches. Start off as always by chaining 2. Now our pie has 1 stitch at the top, 2 in the next, 3 in the next, so we need to create 4. So the way we're going to do that is by doing 1 double crochet in the first stitch, 1 double crochet in the next stitch, and then 2 double crochet in the 3rd stitch. We're going to do this all the way around. Now we'll do a slip stitch into the top of our first double crochet. That completes round 4. Moving on to round 5, start off by chaining 2. And if you remember last time, we put 1 double crochet in the first stitch, 1 double crochet in the second stitch, and then 2 in the 3rd. So this time you're going to do 1, 1, 1, and then an increase. So 3 ones before the increase. This is a pattern that you'll see. So do 1 double crochet in the first stitch, 1 double crochet in the second stitch, 1 double crochet in the 3rd stitch, and then your increase by doing 2 in the 4th stitch. Now we do a slip stitch in the top. So like I said, this pattern repeats, so we just did a double crochet, a double crochet, a double crochet, and then an increase, so 3 and then an increase. The next round would be 4 and then an increase, and then 5 and an increase, and so on. And you do this all the way until you have something that looks like this, and the outer edge has 120 stitches. So right now we've already done this much of it. Just keep going until you have 120 stitches, and then you'll have the 2 sides of your pillow. Once you've completed your 2 circles, it's time to finish off the ends. You do this by taking your hook out and pulling the yarn back through, Pull it tight, but not so tight that it creates a divot in the top. And then flip over to the back. And now you're going to weave in this tail just randomly all the way down till you get to the center. I just picked random loops where I knew the yarn wouldn't show through to the front, and I just pulled it through until I got to the center. Once you get to the center, go ahead and tie your original magic circle tail with this tail a few times. Be sure to pull the magic circle tight before you tie the knots. Then cut off the ends and you're good to go. Next, you'll take a bit of yarn that's half the length of your crochet circle and tie it around your fabric pencil. Hold the center down in the middle of your fabric and draw a circle all the way around. You might have to draw over a few times for it to show up well enough to see. Once you've done that, you can go ahead and cut out your fabric and then pin it together. This fabric was double-sided, so it didn't matter where I pinned it, but make sure if your fabric has two sides to pin the wrong sides together. Pin it inside out so that when you flip it like this, the right side will show. Make sure to leave a hole so that you can put the stuffing in. And I only used about half a bag of polyfill. Once your pillow is stuffed, go ahead and sew that hole closed. It doesn't have to look nice because it'll be hidden. Take your pillow insert and put it in between your two crochet circles. As you can see here, I already crocheted the circles together a little bit just to make it easier and more stable when putting the pillow insert in. Now it's time to crochet the insert into the pillow. The way I did this was I grabbed my ball of yarn with one of my hands and held it as I would if I was crocheting, and I took my hook in my other hand. I'd insert my hook into the top of two double crochet stitches that were right next to each other, and then I would grab some yarn and pull it through both, so basically doing a slip stitch. And I did this all the way around. It's alright that this ridge is sticking up because this is what we'll use to attach the pom-poms. Once you've made it all the way around, you can take your hook out and cut off the end. Feed the end back through your loop and pull it tight, and then tie a couple of knots. Now all you have to do is cut off the end and you're good. Since my pom-poms were part of a trim, I would feed them underneath this ridge I had just created by sewing the pillows together and cut it to make it a little easier. And then I'd take my needle and thread and sew the two sides together around this little ridge I've created. I put these two pom-poms a little too close together, but as I kept going, I gradually spread them out to about an inch away from each other. Once you've sewn it together, you can cut the end off and put a little fabric glue on the end so that they don't fray. Once all of the pom-poms were attached, I put a little bit of glue at the base of the pom-pom and would squish it onto that piece of trim I had just sewn to kind of hide it and make the pom-poms more dense around the pillow. Okay guys, thanks so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed learning how to make a pom-pom pillow. I have a lot of DIY crafts planned for the future. I'm excited for you guys to see them. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!